Hello, and welcome to the Beautifully Human podcast. I'm Nick Sheesby. In this podcast, I speak with beautiful humans from all around the world, sharing with you their incredible stories, revealing the power in every human story to spread love and humanity to a world that is in desperate need of it, to show that we can all connect in beautiful ways no matter where we come from or what we look like. What you will find out is that we are all beautifully human. Let's all be beautifully human.
It's great to see you too. I feel like I'm right here on this futon situation with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm at my parents' house doing some laundry, and it's beautiful. So I'm just chilling outside for a minute. Got my pup over here.
Awesome.
Chi-Chi. That's that
Hey,
Chi-Chi
pup.
boy. Doing things.
Sweet, dude.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
So what's good, man?
You know, just living this weird world we living in.
Well, I know, bruh. 2020 is the weirdest year ever.
Yes, it's very strange.
Nothing really surprises me anymore. Hey.
No, nothing at all can surprise me. After this year, it's just like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
I know it, man. And at the same time, it's so wild. It's like everybody is going through something.
Totally.
And, I know.
It's
the weird on weird.
Yeah, it is. It's that weird, like, well, shit, I got this happening, but there's so many people that aren't making it through this year, even living through this year aren't making it through job-wise. It's just like there's so much happening.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I give thanks every day for waking up and trying to pursue these things, and at the same time we have all this other energy of struggle and hope, and then just like one thing after another, man. It's definitely a survival of the fittest in a way.
Yeah.
And I mean that in the lightest way possible, because everybody's going through something.
Yeah, we're all figuring out what to do to survive 2020 and everything that's presented itself through it,
Yes.
Everyone's challenges are unique, but we're all facing them.
Yes. It's a wild thing, man. I'm happy that we're connecting today amongst everything and on this wild roller coaster of life.
Yeah, dude. I know. When I was thinking of people to talk to, you were definitely top of my list.
Oh man, I'm so honored, man. How's the podcast game going for you? Are you finding joy in it? I've been looking into some of the previous folks and beautiful people that you've had on, and it looks like it's so fun that you're able to, peel back some layers. And are you finding that joy as well? Like people are diving deep. Are you finding that kind of is like a mechanism of, helping you as well?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's funny. Like when I see the phone started ringing and it was you, and I was like, you get that kind of like nervous energy for a second, and then I was like, dude, it's just a beautiful conversation with with a friend. So it's like. Also, it's giving me opportunities when, I've met you one time. We met at the taco shop in 222 in Miami, and it's like, it's cool to get to know people better. Even friends of mine I've known for a very long time. I mean, Lindsay and I did the first one that I did of this podcast, and I learned stuff about her that I didn't know, and she learned stuff about me. And I mean, we haven't been together a long time, but we know a lot about each other. So it's just cool to learn and, get to know people that way too. I just love sharing stories, man. Like, everyone's got power behind their stories. And it's been really neat to find people, to see the reactions that people are finding in being able to share their story and to show like, I think the most common response I get when I ask people is, me? You want me to? And I'm like, yeah, totally. Like your story is incredibly powerful. So of course I want you to be a part of it, and I think enabling that and showing people that no matter what you've done, there's power in that, like somebody's going to relate to some of the hardships you've been through, or like
Hmm.
struggles with family. A lot of people have opened up about that, and with my struggle with addiction, a lot of people have opened up with that, and it's been really, really beautiful and enriching to see that power in people, and like as they're speaking, just you can see them growing in that, like, oh shit, man, my story does have relevance. It does have power in this, and people need to hear what I have to say.
Mm. It's a beautiful. It's beautiful, man. It's so exciting too. That we can have these moments where, like, where you see my number pop up, that hits or activates some situation where that's kind of a feeling that I I mean, just realizing it now, that I feel has been lost um, during all of this pause in humanity in a way this year. Is like that that excited nervous, or that excited of unexpectations.
Yeah.
And I think you're doing it. I'm really proud of you, and it's an honor, like I said. Um, and it's really cool to hear that people are overjoyed, and it's from this side already. It's like, whoa, these questions that you're throwing out, these are great. They just peel back some layers, you
Yeah.
dive in,
Yeah.
and a lot of us are by ourselves, with all of these things. And I think a lot of people just they need somebody to talk to, and the
Absolutely.
further together we are, the more that we need to have those connections. And I think it's a very beautiful thing that you are doing, as always.
Oh, thank you, brother. Yeah, it is. I think that's so true, especially in a year where I think a lot of people are learning as well how much they needed other people, or how much of a struggle they have with something like mental health, or for the first time figuring out that, man, that might be something I struggle with, and I need people, and I'm craving that connection, even if it was going to my job that I didn't like and begrudgingly like high-fived the guy that I didn't like at work. But it's like, but that was
Yeah.
good interaction, like that was energy that I needed, that I didn't know I needed. It's like, I think people are really figuring that out, and like that's what I want to do with this, is just show how beautiful everybody is, man, and like how much value we all have, and what we give to other people without even knowing, you know?
Yes, absolutely. It's a soul shine kind of situation.
Yeah, totally.
And it's, I want to back up right quick and revisit that. Yeah, we've uh, we've only met each other once, but
Yeah.
that was pre-COVID. So
Yeah.
since then, everything, it's like, damn, I feel like I've known you and Lindsay for eons already,
Right. Yeah, it
and
is.
I'm trying to put into words there, based off of our relationship. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's a wild thing, man. So
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, and it's funny too, because you were at work, and we just kept holding you up from doing your job because we were talking to you, and we just connected. And I wrote down little notes, and I was just like, man, when Lindsay and I left that shop, we were like, dude, that was so awesome. Like, good food, but beyond that, we could have had shit tacos, and it would have been awesome because we got to meet you. That was like
Yeah,
the enrichment
y'all
of the
made
day.
it.
And
Absolutely.
it was a happenstance. We were, on a break from working on the cruise ships that we were on, and we just happened to figure out a hotel in that random part of Miami and
Mhm.
find the taco shop and walk there and meet you. Yeah, literally
Yes,
like a
yes.
month before
So wild.
shit went down.
Yeah, y'all made that day, that weekend, and everything else. After that, I was like, wait, what happened to all the spark joy of Miami? And then everything started to just kind of, COVID started to creep in like real quick. And
Yeah.
yeah, that was one of that experience with you, whether I was working or just happened to meet you out there on that patio. That was, yeah, it's happenstance and kismet. And goodness gracious, it's like one of those very special situations And whew, I'm just going through some flashback right quick here with you.
Yeah, of course. It was so, yeah, like I said, man, it was just one of those that was, it was so, it was so rad. It was just like, we get to meet a lot of people while traveling, which is super fun, but like keeping with those people, keeping up with people and having connections that last that long is what's really really awesome, and we definitely felt that with you. You
I
know.
feel, yeah, I felt it with y'all as well. It was that that travel connection, that food connection. Being open with kindness, and that those situations are few and far between. But I feel like those are, that's what I'm carrying with me, and that's what you're obviously a foundation of, to where we can reverberate that out, and it's really incredible to be a part of.
One thing beyond the many that I just remember about you was just like, first off, like how joyous you were. You were just so stoked and so happy, and like instantly we felt that connection.
Finally, I was back in Atlanta, and we were still trying to figure out, what's happening, what's going on with our goals, what's going on with our dreams. And for sure, I would love to roll around the world and see the world in a way that you two have, and have similar experiences. And I was like, hell yeah, I'll put together a short little video. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah. And
At the time, being back in Atlanta, I was kind of feeling like, oh, wow, what is my next step? There was nothing, really holding me there, but I needed some time to figure it out. And at that point, when you sent me that request, I was like, oh, wow, yeah, I think I have some content to put together right quick. And, that content can be a reflection of who I am. So sure, let's run it. Let's see where this goes. All right, Nick, you ready? Cool. Here it goes. Let's see what's up.
yeah.
And then everything, we kept seeing cruises and all the expeditions, everything in the world just start to slowly shrink more and more. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, well,
Yeah.
still.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely like, "Hey man, send me that." And then it was like, "Cool, cruise canceled, cruise canceled, cruise canceled, cruise canceled." All right, it's probably not going to happen for any of us anymore. So, we'll deal with that. But
Yeah, man, it was such a wild time on top of everything else. And next thing I know, I'm seeing like the kings of, or the princes of Saudi Arabia starting to snatch up all the cruise lines
yeah.
and buy them out. I'm like, what is happening in the world on top of everything else, man?
Yeah, it was pretty wild, dude. But
Wild indeed.
what I absolutely loved about that video that you sent was, like, for example, Lindsay and I, when we sent our video, it was literally like, "Hey, we're Nick and Lindsay," and we are just like saying what's up. And then I got yours, and it
Yeah.
was like a minute long journey into Sunny's life, and I was like, "Shit, man, that was so good. It was so creative, and it was just like, yeah, that is so much better than just being like, "Hey, my name's Nick. I would do good on this cruise because of this." You were like all over the
Yeah.
place with it, and I was like, that was rad.
Thank you
That
so
was so
much.
good, and it just brought me so much joy watching it. And I was just like, I got to know, like, I had just met you, and I was like, man, I got to know a lot just with that little video of like the joy and like just the life that you bring into, it's like, hey, make a 1 minute video, and you were just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make this shit awesome.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. I took your lead on that, and plant a seed, and then I'm gonna water it with my own water. And what I really, really, really enjoy to do is to transcend the mundane. And sometimes that's just through that view, or is it on me, whatever. So I'm really glad that it resonated with you, and I'm, dude, I'm so stoked for whenever this lifts off, and we can all link up and create some more of those kind of situations happen in real
Yes.
life, in real time.
Yeah. Yeah. I just look forward to traveling more. I mean, I know we got to this year, but just seeing the world and having those experiences, like
Mhm.
getting to meet you on a random whim, that's it. Just makes it enriches life so much, just the people that you get to meet, and then that become a pretty rad part of your life.
Hmm. Yeah, man, absolutely. It was, it's that saying, I think that's been resonating hard as well, is that we meet people for a reason or a season or a lifetime. And some of that is so spot on. But what really hits hard is like whenever all three of those are wrapped together. And yeah,
Yeah.
with our connection and ongoingness, that's what's up.
All right, dude. So I'll get it started off with just tell me a story of life.
Hmm. Hmm. A Story of Life by Sonny James. All right, A Story of Life is is full of unknown, and you have to trust the unknown. And this past summer, I've been working my way through that a lot, and mostly by myself and my dog that my sister gave to me this summer. And we spent a lot of time at the beach and spending those moments staring into the horizon, the water where it meets the sky, touching our toes into the sand. And the story of life to me is trusting the unknown and putting down one brick in front of the other on the path. That's my story of life.
I love that. I love that. And that you get a dog to share it with. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
they're helpful, man. The helpful creatures.
Yeah, yeah. I was learning, and I read a lot this summer too, and looking into these designated areas in the world that are called the blue zones. And I believe that you and Lindsay have been to quite a few of these, where the blue zone is where they have the happiest people
Yeah.
in the world, and there's a certain checklist. And having an animal of your own, or pet, if you will, is one of those things.
Yeah.
And then also one thing that you guys already can check off too is a plant-based diet.
Yep.
Surrounded by people that you care and love for, and always having an agenda, rather than waking up and putting it together the day of. You already have it already in place to where you just keep it moving. And I believe that is something that you told me in Miami as well, when I was like, yo, what, like in a nutshell, what's up, man? And you just broke it down, and you're like, just got to keep it moving. Because I think you saw in me that I've had moments where I do get stuck.
Totally.
Those grounding moments a little bit. But the main motivational thing was, hey, just keep it moving. And that stuck with me.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a very special antidote from you, by the way. Thank you
Oh,
so
that's
much
awesome.
for that.
Yeah, man, it's pretty easy in life to get stuck in those moments, and just have that, like, what am I gonna do? Where am I going? Or what is this? Even like the what does it all mean? That puts us in
Mm-hmm.
ruts, and especially like when you're figuring out where to go next, or what to do, or what it all looks like. It can be really daunting to figure out, but it's good to just keep moving, keep your thoughts, high up, and keeping you rolling, and in the hope that you're gonna figure it out, and know you're gonna figure something out. That life is gonna provide, and you're gonna make beautiful happenings in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, man, absolutely. It's so daunting when you think about what is this all about?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
big
It's
question. So just keep it moving, focus on those small things,
Yep.
everything will fall into place. And what's a strong point as well? been learning and leaning on is the power of manifestation for all the queens out there. You know, whatever you think that you want, you can make that happen. The power of the mind,
Yeah,
the most important muscle. How
absolutely. Yeah, I
are you
mean,
gonna flex that? You know, how can you flex that big muscle, the most important one?
yeah, because I mean, I know when my mind goes dark, it's the hardest thing to come out of, you know. So keeping that positivity is something that you just have to do,
Yes.
even through all the bullshit. You know, your mind can get you through a lot of things. You know, like when you have impossible situations, if you put it in your head that you know this is horrible right now, but if you keep that positivity in your mind, like you can start to work through it. You can chip away at it, and that's
Mm.
that's I truly believe in that. I came up against an impossible situation that I didn't know how I'd make it out of, and like outwardly I was like, I got this, and then inwardly I was like, holy shit, dude, I don't know if I got this. I hope so, but once I shaped my mind around like, okay, this is what I got to do. I have to be positive or I'm just going to drown in this. And, it generally, once I put my mind to it, it became easier once I believed what my mind was telling me,
Hmm.
you know?
No doubt. Hmm. I think that having a doubts is a good thing, in a way, because then you care about it more. Um,
Definitely.
well, persistence,
Yep.
persistence through the dark to get to the light.
Yes. Yeah, man. So yeah, tell me a story that shaped your life.
Hmm. Story that shaped my life. These are all fantastic questions, by the way.
Yeah, I like them. When I was sitting down and writing them earlier this year, it was basically what I was meditating on. It was like, we were going through big life changes, with work getting canceled for the first time ever, working in the entertainment industry. So it was like, okay, let's look back on life and figure out these tough questions, that just tell me a lot about where I've been, what I've been up to, and it's just good introspection. It's good to check in with yourself every once in a while on these kind of questions.
Mm. Well said. Yes. Yes. Amongst all the work that I think as a collective that everybody's been doing, these questions have, um, they, they take me to, like as a very introspective situation of reflection. It's fantastic. Um, to answer your question, this is going to go back when I was 12 or 13 in eighth grade in the Midwest. And I was born and raised in Kansas, and there was only one public middle school, there was only one public high school, and just a handful of elementary schools, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so, small town where businesses and leaders and all kids of the same age are all tied together, um, in a way to where everybody knows what's going on, or everybody knows something or somebody that has, your whatever you're looking to do in your life. There is somebody there that you can talk to. How to get there is you know, a situation of itself. In eighth grade, we had the opportunity day that was called Shadow Day, I believe is what it was, where you could pick um, a profession and go to that job site and shadow that
Nice.
professional for the day. And I was like, oh, this is fascinating. I had friends that were doing shadow days at the hospital if they wanted to be a nurse or a doctor, along
Sure.
these lines. And I've always been fascinated by radio and radio broadcasts and audio. And that day shaped my life because I took the opportunity for my shadow day to go to the local radio station, and the DJ that was there at the time. I've been listening to him since I could really hear, actually. you know, so to put a face to a sound was in itself very transcending,
Totally.
and um, and physically as well, being in that room surrounded by all the equipment, just a platform where the DJ stands, has his microphone, and then a couple of other switchboards and this and that. That day changed my life.
That's so rad.
And yeah, and, you know, I guess what am I just turned 38, so this is going back 25 years now. Now I'm going back into that fascination of radio broadcasting and design work for sound and light. So yeah, it's really exciting and kind of wild at the same time.
That is. And you know what? It's really funny. As you were telling that, I was like, okay, eighth grade, Midwest, small town. I was in Ohio instead of Kansas, but we had the same kind of day. We had a shadow day. And
Mm-hmm.
guess where I went?
Gonna go. Did, I'm gonna pick something way out there. Did you go to the local bakery?
No, I went to a radio station as well. When you were saying that, I was like, no fucking way. That's amazing.
That's crazy.
And I hadn't
See,
thought
you're
about
doing
that.
it.
I hadn't thought
You're
about that in
doing
a
it too.
really long time.
Wow. And
That's,
look at you now. You have your mic, you got your gear,
yeah,
and you're interviewing me.
yeah.
And
Here we go. Full circle,
oh,
man.
yeah.
That's so funny. Mine, so we didn't have like a local radio station. Well, we did have a local radio station, but there was one that I was encouraged to go to. It was called 88, or it was 88.7 The Blitz, not The Blitz. Oh, what was it called? I think it was The Blitz. Anyway, it was like a Christian radio station that played like alternative, and they played some like Tooth and Nail records and stuff like that every once in a while. So I was like, but yeah, it was
Right.
cool because I was like, man, I've heard this dude's voice for so long, and then I get to go shadow him, and he was just like a super rad person. And like I just remember being like, yeah, this is something that I really think is neat. It was such a like such a creative way with your voice and music, to speak. And I've just, my life has been shaped
Yeah.
massively by music. So just seeing firsthand this person who is getting to like share music and change people's lives by playing this music through the radio was pretty amazing.
Oh my days, this is fascinating.
So
Yes.
funny.
Yes, exactly. That's it. Same shoes, different time, different state.
Yeah. And it's funny. That's what's so fun about this, is that it's like, again, I feel like I've known you a long time, but I don't know much about you. So like hearing that we had this same experience, this same age, I'm a couple years younger than you, but like, same small town Midwest vibe. And yeah, a lot of people went to like doctors and they're, like did that route, which is amazing. Those people are much needed, and thankful for all of them right now, especially right now. But
Absolutely.
like, man,
Absolutely.
that's so, what a coincidence. That's so amazing.
Oh my gosh, Nick. The wild, dude.
What part of Kansas did you grow up in?
I grew up in a smaller town. It's like 20,000 people, called Emporia, Kansas. It's off of the turnpike in between Wichita and Kansas City.
Okay.
And it had a smallish liberal arts school that was called Emporia State University. It had students from all over the world there, which was really cool. It brought a lot of different, of course, as you know, when you have more diversity and people from different walks of life, you have a more diverse environment and different atmosphere.
Yes. Especially in Kansas. That's much needed.
Trust. Growing up around that kind of that bubble in a way was, I think, provided some of the motivation, as well as MTV at the time, to know that there is more than this rural Kansas town.
Yeah,
Um,
totally.
I live about 30-minute drive from here too, so
Right on.
it's a real blessing to be this close to my fam
Totally.
after missing so many years running a restaurant, running amok, through college. After college, I was just ready to keep going out on my own, and then COVID happened,
Yeah.
and now I'm back close to home and staying at the place where we would go to during the summers when we would vacation, my grandparents' old house, and
Cool.
it's a wild situation, man.
That's awesome.
I have I have just a church with me here, right? And we have all of the house to ourselves and quite a bit of land that we look after. And it's ideal for me right now. It's a sanctuary. It's
Cool.
just kind of crazy, where you have all these memories growing up and it's a family gathering spot and nobody else is there anymore.
Right.
And I'm always expecting visitors, and I'll get a shout, the day of, hey, we're coming from Atlanta. I'll see you. I say, all right, cool. Wavy gravy. Come on through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like traveling without passport. How far can we go within these limitations?
Right. Yeah, that's what we've had to figure out this year for sure. It's like, where can we go? We were like 5 minutes from Canada at some points, and we were like, son of a bitch, we can't go. Come on. Just let us into Canada.
Well, y'all did it, though. I mean, how many states did you check off that list?
So crazy enough, in 2020, I think we were in 21 states.
Whew.
Something around there. Yeah,
Wow.
it was, for being a pandemic, it was one of a pretty wild time to travel around and see the country.
I know I was seeing it happening, and I had heard on the radio as COVID was hitting that being in the car is the safest place to be.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, cool. Yes, free to move about the country in your car. Run it.
Yeah, just go on a road trip. Be safe. Stay at
That's
home in your
what's
van.
How many of these places have you guys been to before, or were most of these all new?
Well,
first time?
I've been to all 50 states. So,
Hey, yo.
Yeah, I've hit them all. But I mean, with touring, so many of them, it's been like, it's just been like, cool, I'm at this venue, and then I know the bar next door, in my drinking days. Or I've been to cities like 20 times that I've literally never left the venue because we've just been busy as shit. And so, there's places I've been to that I've never really known anything about, So it was cool to be able to, like, quote unquote, we just said we like got our tours canceled and then we booked our own. So it was cool to see the places that we really wanted to check out and have the freedom to say, well, shit, it's beautiful here. Let's just hang out,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there were times, because we didn't have a time frame. We didn't have like, oh, we got to be back for this tour or this job. It was like, we want to be back to vote, and we left in July, so that gave us a pretty wide window.
Fantastic.
It was just like, yeah, let's get back to make a vote, or vote to make a difference, and we'll figure it out until then.
It's a good destination and time frame right there.
Yeah.
Hells yeah. So you could indulge all you want, really get beneath the scratching of the surface. And
yeah,
if you like it, extend the stay.
Yep.
Or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Weather's bad. We got to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all of those happened, There was times in, like, Washington, for example. We were on the coast of Washington, and we found this beach that we parked on, and we were literally 20 feet from the beach, and like typically we would spend one night and keep moving, but this place, it was just so nice, and there was hikes and there was everything right around it, and so we were like, Lindsay looked at me and she's like, "Can we stay?" And I was like, why would we have to leave? Like, unless someone tells us to leave,
Yeah.
we don't have
Is
to
that a
leave.
trick question?
Yeah, it was like, of course we can stay. So we ended up staying there 3 nights, and it was perfect. And then we left, and then we went to another place, and then we got to Portland, and we were in Portland for 5 days, and then we were gonna go to Crater Lake and go to these other places that I'd wanted to see before, and then everything caught on fire. And so it was like, yeah, all right, let's get the hell out of here. Let's leave Oregon. Let's skip Crater Lake, which is something I'd wanted to see, but it's not going anywhere. So it was like, all right, cool, let's be safe. And that's when we ended up heading towards Boise, which luckily we did because we had a friend there that we could stay with, and we had to get a new transmission. So we were there for a month.
Oh wow.
So
That's so crazy. Funny how that worked out too.
Yeah, it was just like, okay, we, had we taken it to a shop in Portland, we would have been stuck there and, probably been all right. But like, to get out and then make it out of the fires and get to a safe place and just, we unexpected staycation in Boise,
I love that. I love that story and how everything turned out like that.
Yeah.
That's just amazing.
It was all cool, man. And, like I said, we were incredibly fortunate to have friends that had a house that they were like, yeah, man, we got you. No worries. Just pay it forward is what my buddy kept telling me. Just pay it forward. And I was like, I for sure will. No worries on that.
Oh, glorious.
So yeah, it was really nice. And then when we left there, we had like 12 days to get home. And before voting ended. And so, we took every day of that 12 days to make it from Boise to Nashville. So it was just like, it was cool to, blaze our own trail, do what we wanted to do, see what we wanted to see, and spend the time when we were there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was cool. Yeah.
Wow. Going at your own pace though, that's super special. I'm so happy that you guys got to do all that.
Yeah, it was incredible.
And be at home on the deadline or the timeline. No deadline. Vote line.
Yeah.
That's
Vote
what's
line.
up, man.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crossing over that line.
Yep.
At your own time.
Yep. It was good. It was real good. Brother, so tell me a story that almost ruined your life.
Almost ruined my life. I think this may be a general response to your question with everybody else, but I think this year has been that, the pause in humanity. It's almost, Whew. Just trying to figure everything out. Everything in life completely flipped upside down for me after I saw you guys in Miami. So as COVID's starting to hit, everything in Miami was going down. Then in Atlanta, when I got back, everything was just completely different energy. As we are corresponding to all this, and I'm going to save all the listeners for the juiciness, but I think, like I said, for everybody else, possibly, I think this is a common answer, man, is that this year has been that situation.
Yeah.
And if you're living, I think it's just an ongoing testament, of survival and how strong are you, how far into yourself are you going to go to survive? And that's it, man.
Yeah, this has been unlike anything anybody's ever had to deal with, in anybody's lifetime that I've talked to. Even folks that are, the older, wiser generations, like, they're even being like, man, I've never had anything happen like this before,
Mm,
and it's just like, it's wild how, how different of life, how different life has looked in this whole time,
mm-hmm.
and the
You know,
pause that
absolutely.
we've all had to take in good and bad ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there it is. Two sides of that coin. Um, yeah, so uh, the negatives for sure of this year definitely outweigh all the negatives of any other time in my life. On the flip side, it's also been one of the most positive years in my life as well. Um, you're still here. I'm still here.
Right.
Uh, Even though we're at a distance and we're able to see each other and stay in contact through a screen and through a keyboard, that's better than not.
Yeah,
You know, so
definitely better
I
than.
used to have this motto going into this past year. It's like, you woke up today. That was my motto. I think for the last couple of years, my mantra in a way. And now I think everybody can kind of see what I was saying there.
Totally. Yeah, man, it is it it's been a common theme in my year of like of talking to people about this kind of thing, is like, we're fortunate every single day when we wake up. It's a gift literally every day. So like, you know, I think people will
Mm-hmm.
see these like live every day to the fullest, and it's like, well, do it, man, cuz it's what you got. Like, there's people that aren't making it out of this year. A lot of people for a lot of different reasons, besides COVID, like,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a night where I was told I didn't know if I had a day left on this earth. And I mean, it'll fuck your mind up, it'll make you sit there and look at life and go, okay, yeah, there's some shit that's going on that's tough, but I'm alive today. So there's that. I woke
Mm-hmm.
up and I'm able to fight this. I'm able to enjoy this. I'm able to go see this, experience this, live this part of my life. And sure, we've all had to take a pause, a step back, a turn. Any which way you want to talk about it this year, and it's like, yeah, it's been far different than any other year we've dealt with. But like, you know, every day you wake up, you get to choose. What your path looks like. And like, my an uncle of mine did the writing version of this Beautifully Human, and he's one person I would love to talk to on this, but he has Parkinson's,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very much affected the way he speaks, so it's very hard to understand him. So this just wouldn't work, conversationally it wouldn't work. So like, he was 36 when he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and one of his answers has just stuck with me, and it's like, it was like, thoughts on tough life, which, getting contracted or diagnosed with Parkinson's at 36, I would say that's pretty tough. Having three sons, and he was super active, he was super athletic, and one thing he said was, if you have energy, use it. And I was like, it's something we all take for granted. It's just like, oh, I have energy, I'm not falling asleep right now, or my body is allowing me to get up and move and go see something. It's like, when you
Mm-hmm.
have that, use it. It's worth it to use it, because there will be a time when you don't have it anymore, and you'll sit back and look, and maybe you will, maybe you won't, but I imagine looking back at it and being like, shit, man, I should have done something more. I should have just used my energy, like, to go for that walk, or go for a hike when I thought I might, or I might get too tired, so I'm not gonna go on this hike. It's like, yeah, but there's other people that aren't fortunate enough to get to do that. So it's just like those little
Mm-hmm.
nuggets that they're really beautiful to keep in your mind, of like, when the fortunes that you're able to have in your life, use them and enjoy them. Like, if you have a sound mind, use it. If you have a voice, use it. If you are a beautiful writer, write. Like, get your voice out there, spread the love, spread the beauty, and enjoy this time that we have. You know, it's short. It can go away in a second without even knowing. You know, like so. Yeah, it's it's
Well
very
said.
it's
Good.
very like present now. I think people getting stripped of this life that they've had or known, and it's like, well, then reinvent it. Make it something in in your lockdown or your quarantine or whatever. Like find that beauty. There's
Yeah.
beauty to be
Well
found
said.
because you're alive.
Hmm.
You know.
Right. Right. Oh man, that's an incredible story. I'm so grateful on a daily. And man, I'm sorry to hear that for your uncle and everybody around him
Yeah.
to have to go through that and all of the layers to that. And it sounds like it's brought everybody, just like everything else this year, it just brings you closer to the realization and
Yeah.
uncertainties. The mask of uncertainty is gone. So you got to get at it while you can.
Yeah.
Small victories.
Yes. Day by day, man, inch by inch, Like one of my favorite songs is by a band called The Format, and one of the lyrics that stuck with me since I heard it, and it was like, snails see the benefit, the beauty in every inch.
Hmm. This is the format you said?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And, it didn't
Cool.
really sink in with me until I was starting into my sobriety. And it was like, okay, I literally have to enjoy the beauty in every inch because, when I just started into it, it was like 3 days ago I was told I might not have a day left. Now I'm, 2 years and some change past that. And it's like every single day, like, enjoy the beauty in every inch. Take your time to really truly love that. Find the small joys in life. Like not everything's about like riches and these massive pleasures. It's like find joy in just the small bits of life. There's beauty in it, especially this year. That's something I've had to really put in my life is just like we have to enjoy every small little bit of life we can.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I like that. Would you get that tattooed on you?
would I?
That motto? Yeah.
I got a snail tattooed on me in honor of that motto.
I knew there's gonna be some tie in there.
Yeah.
Yes, awesome.
Yeah. I got it tattooed on my 1 year sober anniversary.
Congratulations on the ongoing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was awesome. Lindsay actually got a snail as well because she just loved snails, and so she got. Technically, we have matching tattoos, but they're not matching snails. But she got a snail that same day, which was really special too.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
Snails are neat.
Yeah, man, they're
And,
really cool,
Sweet story.
dude.
Very cool.
I know you said you've been reading. I would highly recommend a book, and I'll send it over to you in case you forget it, just so you have it in writing. But it's called "The Sound of a Wild Snail Eating."
Mm.
Dude.
Yes, please send over. Yes.
Oh man, anyone listening to this too, if you're into reading and you're just want to read a fascinating book, where we'd literally be out hiking when we were reading this, because every once in a while, Lindsay and I will read a book out loud with each other. So we'll read a chapter out loud and then move on. But we like to do that, and we read this one, and
That's great.
we'd literally be hiking, and I'd be hiking, and I'd be like, man, what is this snail up to? Like, I want to get home so we can read this book. It was so fascinating. So if you're anyone intrigued by snails, I think I know it's a beautiful read. I absolutely loved it. So I'll send it over to you. I think you'd dig it.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. I'm always looking for some more of the brain muscle type of reading materials for sure.
Yeah, this one.
And also, something that's kind of just little side story outside of your story. It's really cool. Yeah, please do. Trying to think of see, just going over in my head how many books I put through my hands. quite a few, you know, a good variety too. I'm reading this daily paper on a regular too, and one of my favorite parts is the spiritual section, the wisdom section. There's no food section anymore, really,
Yeah.
except for preserving of food and techniques like that. And then I always get stuck on and really get into the word searches.
Yes.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I got it. Bing!
Yeah.
And I spell it out, give it a circle, cross it off the list, and it's like a little joy of, I did it.
Yeah.
I did that one. Cool. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
It's all done now. Now I can set it on fire.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
I do crosswords a decent amount too. I picked one up.
Oh, yeah.
We found one in a
That's
free
next
little
level.
library, and I was like, "Oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna grab this thing." Like I'd done
Excellent.
when I was traveling years ago. I used to have one, and I loved it, and I hadn't done one since. And so when we were sitting in the van and driving around, I'd just be doing my little cross. I was like, I'm already ready for my 80-year-old activities, getting my crossword game going.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, where I'm staying, like I said, is where my grandpa actually built this house with a couple of his sons, and one
Cool.
of his daily things was, and my grandma would print out the crosswords for every day, and maybe I'll get there to the crosswords. For now, I'm in that word search game,
Hey man.
and it's so good,
Yeah.
so good, and it's a tangible thing. You can feel it. Can take a break from your devices.
Right.
Drink on some good stuff. Get your hydrations levels
Yeah.
right, and it's a wonderful thing, man. I'm with you. Let's do some crossword word searches together one day.
Dude, I'm down. We'll just sit. I'll drink some tea. Drink what you want to drink. We'll do some. We'll do some word.
Absolutely.
We'll do some word puzzles.
What tea are you vibing with right now?
I have a coconut chai right now.
Ooh,
It's
that's
quite
next
nice.
level.
Yeah, it's quite nice. I've been just plowing through that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now I love me some chai. Man, that makes so much sense. Yeah, got some coconut in there. Are you enjoying that? What temp? Are you enjoying that hot temp, cold temp?
Hot. Yeah,
Hot temp.
I like it. Especially it's pretty chilly in Nashville today. It's a cold and rainy day, so it's good. It's a nice. And when I've been doing these conversations, it's good to have some tea with me.
Oh yeah, keep that whistle wet. I
That's
hear
right.
you, man. Yeah.
And I got my water, I got my tea, I got it all just in case,
There you go. You got your plants up there cleaning the air at the same time.
That's right.
In a good place.
Yes. What brings you the most joy or smile the most?
Ooh. You know what, man? I am a water sign, so even if it's something that is super joyful, I will have a moment to myself of, oh shit, I'm smiling so hard and I'm crying tears of joy. And recently is actually one of the more joyful things in my life. And I told you this in a side chat. I've been volunteering with a few nonprofits nearby where I stay. And some of them have actually been providers for my grandma that's getting up in her age. So it's an opportunity for me to give back to those foundations that have been helping her out since my pops died. And those moments of delivering food with this program called Meals on Wheels. Yeah, that is something in the biggest way of a fulfillment that I can do right now in my life, and it actually is one of the biggest joys of my life, is being able to safely and securely deliver prepared meals to elderly people that are unable to go grocery shop or prepare meals for themselves. And I see the same people once a week And sometimes I know that these people are only seeing maybe one or two other humans
Right.
in a week, you know? So for them to see somebody that's bringing them something that they need, that's important.
Yeah.
And then from my side, it's a give back situation. It's very fulfilling and enjoyable at the same time, and it's a tearjerker,
Oh
and
man.
my heart goes.
Oh, I
Yeah,
bet. Every day waterworks on that.
yeah, yeah. I'm by myself though, so I can take my time, collect myself,
Yeah.
give thanks, and you know bless them up
Yeah.
on the next go around. And as soon as I leave, I'm I'm hoping that they are on the route again next week.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's such a beautiful thing, man, cuz just giving that giving that gift to the elderly is amazing, like the gift of your time. I mean, time is of the essence for them, and then you and I, we both know how important food is, so to be able to connect that and the fact that you're helping where your grandma's getting care, which is super super rad. All those combined is just super. I have a question on here of tell me a story of or that you enriching another's life, which I'm like, that one ties in real well, of such a beautiful enrichment of those folks' lives. Like, what a gift you're giving them. To,
Oh man, it just compounds. That's two questions maybe at once from
that's
your
all right.
side, and then from my side, it's
Yeah,
like
that's beautiful
family
when they
tie
do that.
on
Yeah.
within the bubble. Where I'm at as well, it's an ongoing thing, and I look to do more. And these are elders, even though, and yeah, we're all cut from the same cloth.
Yeah,
These
absolutely.
are elders that I've never met before, but I can do what I can to make them feel special. In a small amount of time that I'm with them, and this is all a mirror situation. It's like I'm helping them, they're helping me. So that is part of that other question that you put out there too. What do you do for work? Well, this is one of them.
Yeah.
This is one of the things. I'm unpaid by it, but there's a different currency.
Yeah.
I've been realizing that there's so many different currencies, and sometimes there's some give back from the foundation. Hey, we have some extra cat or dog food. Distribute that to the people on your route if they have any pets. I'm like, hell yeah, cool, let's do that.
Totally.
And also, I have a dog, sweet.
Yep.
Help yourself to some for your animal too.
I love that.
So yeah, it's really neat. That's a beach effect over here, I guess we could say.
Yeah.
Beach effect, sun showers, man.
That's so rad. All right. Tell me tell me a story of hope.
Hope. Mm. Mm. Story of hope is having having a dream, using your skills and all your facilities to be able to channel and make that happen. And for me, in this last year, that's been going back to um, what is very similar for both you and I is audio, sound design. Um, this year, I've been able to focus more energy to that, to where I'm starting to. I had a hope of being able to make my own music one day. I had a hope of going beyond making playlists for the restaurant that I own. And I had a desire to blend all those skills into curating songs from artists around the world and from far away of the galaxies, and assembling those together and bringing that out to the masses through a channel that I really care about, and that's most recently through a nonprofit radio station out of Manchester called Reform Radio. So big up Reform Radio. Um, and they are actually doing the same stuff that we did on our Shadow Day as a nonprofit. They're bringing, uh, you know, energetic souls that have a desire to be involved with radio and audio production, and that's what their focus is, on that nonprofit level. And then on another level, they have people that are already able to curate and select and have their own shows, and those are broadcast 24/7.
It's amazing.
So yeah, that's
awesome.
That's a Hope Sitch.
Yeah,
that's my story on
rad.
Hope. And dude, I just feel like there's so much relativity between you and I, and I'm so grateful that we're having this conversation.
Me too, brother. Me too. It's so rad.
So wild, man. You're doing it. You're doing it. I'm doing it. And if you're listening, and when you do listen to this, everybody out there, if you have the idea and you have the time and the energy, you only have once.
Yep.
Let's get it. Let's get it. And if you ever need help, Nick's your man right there. He will get this information out of you.
Yes. I'll try my damnedest. I just love sharing it, man. I love sharing it. I love, it all spurred from me telling my story. And then I was like, man, okay, I felt powerful in that moment, and I was like, I felt really good in that power. And I was like, everybody needs to feel that, like everybody has that in them, no matter what you've done, no matter where you are in your life, so like to be able to just help share stories, like break down this wall of, the lack of humanity that I see in so much of the world right now. It's just like, you have no reason to hate anybody. Like, we're all just humans, man. We're doing what we do, and we're all the same, no matter where we come from, no matter what we look like. We all are living life. We're trying to love what we love and do what we do, and make a difference in the world. So, I'm just trying to break down those stigmas that are out there, and it's just like, it doesn't matter what you do, we're all human,
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. It truly is, like, get over the differences, get out and learn about the person next door to you, like that person you don't like, go find out something about them. And I bet you'll find out that there's something massively similar, and you'll be like, oh shit, man, I don't know why I didn't like that person. It's like, get out of your own way and learn about people, because it's beautiful. It's such a massive resource that we have everywhere. I know it's kind of hard with COVID. It's kind of, people are a little bit of the enemy right now because of sharing and spreading the virus. But we can talk and spread that love that way. So that's my mission with this, is just to get stories out there and show beauty to the world.
I see you.
Yeah.
And as your friend, and also I guess your talent companion on this situation as well, man. Well said. Just get out of your own way.
Totally.
Get out of your own way. Start thinking about, if you want to help other people, you can.
Yeah.
If you are feeling so bad about your own situation, help other people out. You'll feel better, I promise.
Immediately. Yeah, absolutely. All right, I always enjoy this one. Tell me a story of crazy life.
Oh, well, lots to choose from there, and
there's plenty of ammo usually.
I mean, I'm grateful for all these crazy experiences. It still makes me who I am.
Totally.
Let's see. Crazy in my own way. Crazy in my own way. There you go. That's my answer now. Let's see. What's a crazy story? That is just outlandish enough. Oh my days. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have one for you. So this is a fun travel adventure too. Um, last year, jeez. My
I know memories seem like ages ago because of this year.
absolutely, yeah, yeah. You saw that, or you heard that as well.
Yeah.
Like, when was that?
Yeah. When was that? I know. I think of when I met you, and it feels like 2 years ago.
Absolutely. Working through these wheels up here. Yeah, what is time anyway? So yeah, I think this was a couple summers ago. Um, a very good friend of mine and his lovely girlfriend were uh, scheduled to get married up in the Midwest as well. And they asked me to be involved in the wedding. I said, of course, yeah, let's do that. Y'all are awesome. And of course, I mean, this is the cat that I went to college with, and we have similar music taste and hospitality taste and um, tattoos of the same like. So I was like, this is cool, man. My brother's gonna get married. Let's do it. So I drove up from Atlanta with a really good friend of mine that I was living with. He's like my little brother, and we've never been on a road trip together. We both were leading very, very busy lives, so it was a road trip. And we did the drive. It was about what was it, 8 hour drive? Did the 8 hour drive, nice and fun, a little bit time pressing. Made it to the rehearsal just right on time, and uh, my homie that I was on the road trip with, he just chilled out, got on a skateboard in a different city, and was living that wanderlust life. And I linked back up with him after the rehearsal, and that night, so we had already been on the road 8 hours, wedding rehearsal, dinner, check. Then I linked back up with him, and that night was a show in Chicago that was another 3 hour drive.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, that was about a 12-hour run. We drive up to Chicago. Um, had a little bit of delays on the way there because of some intake situations, but we made it. Neither of us had been in downtown Chicago before. Fun parking, fine. The weather's beautiful. It's late summer, so no worries there.
Yeah.
Um, the show was insane. Saw two uh, world champion DJs that do, they make their own tracks, but they also are championship DJs for scratching.
Cool.
And dude, the show was insane, right? I think we got out of Chicago to journey back to where we were going at around 4, and then the time changeover of Central back to Eastern kicked in. So yeah, I think overall it was like a 20. No, I think I was up for over 30 plus hours. So 30 plus hours non-sleep, massive amounts of miles, incredible music experience, and then wedding rehearsal, seeing my homies, and all of that love celebration.
Yeah.
And then kind of time traveling, because we're jumping back and forth across the timeline. So,
Yeah.
needless to say, my body clock was a little wonk.
Yeah.
And I had invited my good friend that was getting married to come. He's like, nah, I think I better stay on this side of the timeline. But nobody else knew about it until we got back the next day. And the bride she gave me a little look, but she was also like, that's you. You do you.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're back. You're here. I was like, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Y'all are amazing. So, yeah, that's my crazy story.
I love that. Yeah, I have one. I have a
It's a lot of
story.
fun.
I have a story from touring where I shouldn't have driven as long as I did, and unlike 2 hours of sleep, did like 36 hours of driving.
Woo!
You know, with time zone changes, and I mean, it was just one of those moments where you look back and you go, "What the fuck was I thinking, man? Like, why was I doing this?"
Yeah,
But I was,
yeah.
I was early 20s. I was invincible. I thought so. It was like, yeah, I'm all good. I'll do this. It's fine.
Yeah. I definitely think twice about it now.
Oh, I wouldn't survive that
Goodness
now.
gracious. Yeah,
I drive for
like
two
how
hours and I'm like falling asleep.
much? For sure, man, for sure. How much cruise control can you take?
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh man, yeah, that's a lot of stretching out afterwards to
Oh
get
my
back right.
god. Yeah, totally. All
Mm.
right, brother. So non-COVID times, no travel restrictions. If I came up to you and I handed you a plane ticket, where are you flying to?
Mm. This is gonna be a bouncer. Dude. I would love if you did that. By the way,
Yeah,
um,
I'm
Eddie,
I'm working up to that to be able to do this for everyone I talk to. That would be incredible.
you know how they say to always have a bug out bag? Well, I'm going to have a Wanderlust Moon Duo bag ready
Yes.
for these situations. And where I would go if you asked and presented a ticket would be a flight over to Hawaii, do a couple of days there because you can see all seasons within one day there. You have
Mm-hmm.
the mountains, you have the beach, you have the desert, you have volcanoes. I believe you have plenty of trees there for your forest action. And then from there, I would go down to Australia, then to New Zealand. Yeah, that. But first off, Hawaii.
Yeah,
I think Hawaii is fascinating. So fresh.
totally. Yeah,
Have you been there before?
yeah, I went in like 2007. So it's been a long time, but it was amazing. I just
Oh yeah,
remember
that's right. You've hit all 50 states. Yeah.
I just remember beyond all the amazingness of Hawaii, I loved the fresh pineapple. It was so amazing. It was everywhere. And I was just like
That
I ate so much. It
awesome.
was unbelievable.
Man, I was talking to my mom about this earlier, doing a little prep and whatnot. Um, and she was living in Hawaii at the age of 3 or 4 when they changed over to an official state. And she said there was so much pineapple, and she was wondering if there was still so much pineapple there, pineapple plantations. So
Yeah.
that's good to hear. That's
I mean, 13 years
that's
ago
so
it was
neat.
still heavy pineapple. So when we go there, we'll report back to your mom.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, she'll be happy to see that,
Yeah.
and
Uh
happy to hear that too.
yeah. All right. So on that note, tell me a favorite travel moment of yours.
It has to be riding with my sister in a van with both my parents. Um, when we were growing up from Kansas all the way out to Carolina to spend a couple weeks at a time. And this one particular time, I had a really bad situation with a wave that crashed into the side of my head, and my head fell off. I'm just kidding. No, I I I grew up with really bad situations in my ears as far as like needing tubes and whatnot.
Okay.
So when we ventured out this one summer, I guess just they were fresh ones or something, and this wave crashed into the side of my head, and I was a little woozy and kept on going, and then after the beach time, we went back home, and I was like, I feel like there's a bunch of stuff in my ear.
Yeah.
Is it salt? And I started to like, what is this? It's all crusty and stuff. And it was terrible, man. It was like dried blood.
Oh
And I
wow.
was like, oh, those ear tubes, they just got knocked around or something and scratched. So yeah, that was an, that was a situation, right? And
Yeah.
I think that was the last time that I ever had tubes. Um, um, yeah, eh, in paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite the road trip, quite the experience.
That's amazing. I'm glad you're all right after that. That's could sounds like something of a horror movie. Just like on
Oh,
vacation, and all of a sudden, like blood's dripping from your ears or crusted on your ears.
exactly. Yeah. No, I give great thanks every day for my facilities and all the cares that my parents, have had for me, and to live and lead a healthy life and have these experiences. And I can hear pretty well
Good.
still. So that's good.
Yeah, that is really good. All right, I got a couple more for you. What is your biggest fear?
Biggest fear. Hmm. Let's see. I think my biggest fear is something along the lines of like ultimate catastrophe that would happen to this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're in such a special simulation. We're in a very special world, right? Where everything is set up just perfectly. But what if something tilts just ever so slightly, like the oxygen changes, or
Right.
the, the angle changes too much to where the sun is, just that closer, or whatever? That's my fear. Something that's uncontrolled that will completely take our breath away or fry us immediately or something like that. That's my fear.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not that far off, especially with the way we treat the world
Hmm.
as humans, It's pretty scary.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and
yeah. It's
I
wild.
I'm just always amazed when people don't give a shit enough to take care of the world cuz I'm like, if the planet goes away, like instantly humanity go, like all of us go. We don't
Hmm.
survive without the planet. So why are you not taking care of this place? I don't get it.
Hmm.
It doesn't make sense. There's a
Yeah.
massive disconnect in my mind where I'm going, we should all be, massive tree huggers and care about the world and the planet. It's like we don't do very well without it, without the oxygen, without the trees, without all of it, renewing itself.
Exactly.
So I fully
All of those
understand that.
elements have this amazing symbiotic relationship. Why? Yeah. It's like on a different timeline. I think that we would all, you and I, and like-minded people, we'd all be, you know, rejoicing in this ongoing paradise, and rather than being worried about why the rest of humanity is such a mess and has no care.
Right. Yeah.
And so, mm, so yeah, that's my fear, man. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. It's one that there's so many different ways you can go with answering. There's massive fears, there's small fears, there's just insecurities that turn into fears. It's a broad, deep question. You know,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
like
exactly.
it could be like the middle of the ocean in the middle of the night. That's horrifying to me. And then I was on a cruise ship for 20 days this year, and I'm like, okay, it's actually kind of peaceful, except if I was on a raft by myself or floating. I just know I don't do well there. I'm not meant to be in the ocean. I'm a decent swimmer, but everything else is meant to be there, and I'm not. Like, so it could go from like those kind of things to, yeah, massive, massive fears.
Yeah, so that's where I was trying to pinpoint in which, micro, macro. Let's go with something that's completely out of control,
Yeah.
out of any of our control in a way.
Yeah. Which is some of the scariest shit, the stuff we don't have any control over.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. I do my best not to lose my mind over that, but now that you have brought that up, I'm like, yeah, that's a very possibility. It's real, but
Yeah.
what can I do about it?
Yeah. We do what we can do, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do our little part, and that's what we can do. You know. All right. This is a fun one. What was your first tattoo?
Oh yeah. My first tattoo was on a road trip with a couple of friends of mine when we went to Denver for spring break. And instead of doing the party stuff of Cancun '96 in my on MTV or something like
Yeah.
that, we went to Denver and stayed with some friends out there, and we all wanted to get tattoos. And I picked up this tattoo that's just above my right ankle. That is a circle that kind of looks like a biohazard sign, but it's
Yeah.
actually like a what goes around comes around kind of symbol.
Nice.
Yeah, that was my first one, and I think from now that we're talking about it, a couple of my friends they picked up some regrettable ones, but
Sure.
I definitely was and am still fond of this one.
Yeah, that's why I like to ask that one if people have tattoos, because they can be some of the most hilarious, just like cringeworthy stories to just really good ones. And I love tattoos, so I always like hearing what people's first ones were. You know, like
It's a great.
mine was the state of Ohio because I was touring, and like all the dudes that I was touring with, it was like the thing to do was get your home state tattooed on you. So a tattoo artist came to the show and was trying to tattoo our lead singer, and he didn't want it. He didn't want to get tattooed, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll give people free tattoos." So I ended up getting a free tattoo of Ohio on the back of my leg.
Wow.
You know,
Ohio forever.
Um,
Yeah.
yes, it's forever stamped on me. Oh, goodness.
Fantastic.
All right, brother, I got two more for you. What would
Cool.
you want the world to know about you, Sonny?
Ooh. What would I want to know? The rest of the world to know is that even though all of us are only so close to each other, especially right now, um, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best to continue to grow and to be kind and to shine and to strive. And that's what to be looking out from me for is these things. And yeah, that's what I want the world to know.
I love it, man. I love it. I feel that from you every time, even when I'm just chatting with you with my thumbs, and I feel that from you every time, man.
Oh, bless you. Well, only so many people know, but that is I feel that from you guys too, and that is part of I think within the people that I'm close to that I do have, lucky enough to have connectivity with is that it's kind of like this vibe of Star Tribe, like we're all made of stardust. So that is a continuance for everybody. Let's shine.
Yep.
Let's shine in goodness, and let's shine with an example. And the more that you can do that for yourself, the more that you will be able to bring that out in other people.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's much needed right now. I know it's much needed. Just people spreading that love and that beauty around, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Hey, we can do this without a calendar flip as well.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people and hear a lot of people saying, "Hey, I can't wait until the next calendar year." Well, that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's today.
That's
That's right now.
Yeah. Every
That's
second
right
is new.
now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Every minute you have is a new minute to make some change, to make a difference.
Oh,
you
I
know.
like that.
And
Yes.
and I think a lot of people look at it as a very daunting task of like, ooh, changing the world. And it's like truly you can just change one person's perspective, right? You could just like say something nice to someone and then that in turn makes them say something. It's like this little ripple effect that's what I shoot for.
Mhm.
Like I want to put as much beauty in the world, and I want to make people feel like they're seen and they're heard, because so many people, that's just what you want. And then hoping that they turn around and make someone else feel that way. And then it's like it wasn't necessarily that I did that to 10 people down the way. It's like I got that one person to feel good by saying something nice or hearing them or just listening, and then like they go do it and they go do it, and it's this beautiful wave that's pretty simple as just paying attention to someone else, and like we talked about earlier, just getting out of your own way and going and talking to someone, bringing meals to the elderly, doing small little bits in life to just spread love around.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
you
I
don't
mean, you got it.
it doesn't have to
Your
be
motto
massive.
is
it's
nice
it's
on that
very
too.
it's very small parts that we can kick into the world that you know go a very long way. you know
Hmm.
that's what makes me sad a lot, is just how much that's missing right now, and how just ugly it's gotten. I've seen a lot of ugliness, and I'm just like, no, I'm not going to stand for it. What I can put out is going to be beauty and love and peace and kindness, and you know what? I'm not going to stand for this hatred. I'm going to stand up against it. And from what I can push out, what I can control is my little part of life, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make people feel good. I want to share stories. I want to make people smile and make people think.
Yeah. I find that living and leading a life like that and like this is easier as well.
For sure. I mean,
It's easier on you. It's easier on everybody around you.
yeah, it takes so much to hate someone. It's really you actively have to go out of your way to formulate something in your mind to stand against something, or stand against someone, and that's different than you. It's like, it's very easy to be kind and accepting. You know,
Mm.
I find it very,
Yeah.
I find it much more enjoyable too. When
Yes.
I'm just feeling positive. Like when I get angry, I don't feel so well, and I don't think anybody does. So it's like, why perpetuate that? Why live in that?
Mhm. Mhm.
I just I
Yeah. No,
yeah
I'm totally with you. Like, you only have so much energy. Yeah.
yeah
If you keep it on a positive, it's gonna be you're gonna excel with more energy too.
yeah absolutely.
Funny. Mm,
All right, brother.
good things.
Last
Yep.
one. If you had the ear of everybody in the world, what would you say to them?
Mm. I would say that music is a great healer, and that from chaos comes clarity. We have a long way to go through all this chaos, but there will be clarity soon. And through all of that, you know that there's energy all around you, and the best way to actually feel that is through love and through music. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. I love that. I love that. I love music. I love that. I wrote that down. Like the chaos comes from, with chaos comes clarity. I think that's really beautiful, because I've always thought that I strive in controlled chaos. It's like the world can be falling down, but like as long as you just keep. Actually, it made me think of this. A friend of mine once told me, when I was working this high stress situation, she was just like, um, "You know what you need to do, Nick?" And I was like, "What? What?" And she goes, "You need to work like a duck." So why would you work like a duck, Sonny?
Why would you? So Hmm. So you can float on water and you can walk on land.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. What? That's
I mean,
that's
it's a
actually
great.
really cool. That's the best answer. I've asked this to a lot of people, and I've never gotten that one, but I love that. But it's you had part of it, right? So picture this: you're looking at a duck on water, which you had. They're floating,
Mhm,
right? They're just floating
mhm.
along like this. What are they doing underneath the water?
Oh yeah, they making moves. Yeah, they're
So
treading it. They're moving.
outwardly, you're just doing
Mhm,
this. You're just floating along, but
mhm,
underneath there can be chaos. In your mind, there's chaos. In the world, there's chaos. But if you're just working like a duck, you're just floating along,
mhm,
nice and chill,
mhm.
nice and level up top. Underneath, you can be doing a million other things. You know. So that
Yeah,
kind of put me in mind of it of with chaos comes clarity. It's like underneath you can be spinning, 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 but up top you're just cruising along.
oh yeah, yeah. I see that.
Yeah.
I like that. Very cool.
Yeah, it was just funny
Yeah.
because it's not one you hear where she's like, "Oh, take a second, work like a duck," and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And then explained it, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty amazing."
No, it's a good one. Did she? Did she also mention that ducks stick together?
No, but they did in Mighty Ducks.
Yes.
I
uh,
was just transported to the scene where they're all like in the locker room and they're giving their duck analogies. The
yes.
ducks fly together.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh man,
Classic.
I love that. Well, Sonny, man, this has been so much fun, dude. We need to connect more often this way. It's
Yeah.
cool to type, but this has been really fun. It's been really neat, and I was talking to Lindsay before she left for work, and she's like, "Have a beautiful call," and I was like, "I will. I know I will. I'm gonna
Mm.
walk away from this enriched. I'm gonna feel a new sense of just joy in my life from talking with you. So I appreciate that, man. From the moment I met you, 6 years ago, 9 months ago, 10 months ago,
Yeah. Yeah.
in the time
What?
warp that we're in.
Absolutely, man. I've so enjoyed this, and let's do it again soon. And please keep well safe and take care of each other.
Yeah,
And yeah, yeah, you know how to find me.
yeah. All right, much
All
love,
right.
brother.
Mm, much
Peace.
love, brother. See you later. All right. Take well care.
You too.
Peace.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Beautifully Human podcast. To hear more beautiful stories from beautiful humans, follow us on Spotify and rate and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at Wanderlust Moon Duo. Peace signs up.